Section 3.3, Proving Lines are Parallel. We know the corresponding angles postulate says, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the pairs of corresponding angles are congruent. But now we could use the converse in order to prove the reverse. If two lines are cut by a transversal and the corresponding angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. Take a look at the picture. If angles 2 and 6 are congruent, then lines J and K are parallel to each other. Once you know the corresponding angle's converse, you can then apply it to the other theorems that we've been using in section 3.2. We can use the alternate interior angles converse. If two lines are cut by a transversal so that alternate interior angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. 4 and 5 are alternate interior angles. They're congruent. Therefore, J and K are parallel. The alternate exterior angles converse. If two lines are cut by a transversal so that alternate exterior angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. 1 and 8 are alternate exterior angles. By the arc mark, that means that they're congruent. Therefore, J is parallel to K. The same side interior angles converse says the same thing. If two lines are cut by a transversal so that the consecutive interior angles are supplementary, also known as same side interior angles, then the lines are parallel. It also works with same side exterior angles. Same thing. Try this problem. I want you to tell me that M and N are parallel. In order for M and N to be parallel, then 3x plus 5 has to equal 65. And the reason that is because those two are corresponding angles, and if I can prove that two angles that are corresponding are congruent, then the lines have to be parallel. Please find the value for x. Likewise, this is alternate exterior angles. If I can prove that those two angles are congruent or make them congruent by picking a y that works, then that would mean that those two lines have to be parallel. Solve for y. Last one is alternate interior angles. Find the measure for those two angles, find the measure for x that would make them equal. Please take a look at these examples here. Is there enough information to prove that lines A and B are parallel? Explain why or why not. Take a look first at A. Decide whether or not you think you have enough information to say that A and B are parallel to each other. Yes, the alternate exterior angles are congruent. Therefore, by the alternate exterior angles converse, you can say that those two lines have to be parallel. Take a look at the second one. Because those two angles that are shown are corresponding angles and congruent, the answer is yes. Corresponding angles are congruent, therefore the lines are parallel. How about the last one? If I take a look at the last one, I know that 1 and 2 equal 180. They're not same side interior, they're not same side exterior, they're alternate interior. But can you tell whether or not that those lines are parallel if you know that information? There's really not enough information there because you don't know if the lines are perpendicular. If they were perpendicular, then you can tell that those two lines, A and B, would be parallel to each other. Complete the note sheet and be ready tomorrow to practice some problems.